Animal Crossing, a game that was created in 2001, published by Nintendo. The original name was actually Animal Forest, and the Japanese name was... I'm not gonna pronounce that, I'm not gonna embarrass myself. The game was created by an already established developer for Nintendo, Katsuya Agichi. I tried to say, if I said it wrong, you can tell me off in the comments, but I say he was established because he already had these under his belt. He was a man with a lot of experience and plenty of talent. When being asked what was the inspiration for Animal Crossing, he said that the heartache he experienced after leaving his family and friends when he moved from Chiba to Nintendo's home city of Kyoto. Oh, isn't that just cute? But in reality, it was probably these games. But he did also say that being able to spend time with family, friends, being able to play with them and talk to them is an important thing, and he really wants to create that feeling in a video game. When it comes to Animal Crossing, for me, I've only played 2 games, which is Wild Worlds and Animal Crossing New Horizons. New Leaf I played a lot of because I was a crackhead kid with a Nintendo DS and we couldn't really afford new games like that. And New Horizons I played a lot because there was nothing but time at the time. But in this video, I'll be playing every single Animal Crossing in the main lines just because I want to try them out. Now, of course, I won't be reviewing these. It wouldn't really be a fair test because I won't be playing them for that long. And online stuff has probably been shut down from older servers, from older consoles. So it won't be a fair test. Don't see these as reviews. This is just me giving pretty much my first impressions on these games. So ladies and gentlemen, theys and them, hop into the TARDIS. Let's go back in time. We're going back to the year 2001, back to Animal Crossing when it all first started. Now, Animal Crossing 1 originally came out in 2001, but it was released first on a Nintendo 64. It was then re-released for the GameCube that same year, and this time it came with some enhancements. One of the key enhancements that it was using the game console's built-in system clock to help with its day and night cycles. Now, if you aren't familiar with Animal Crossing, that means we could go back into the game system's clock and change it all the time so we can speed up time in Animal Crossing. This is a modern feature that Animal Crossing players love using. Now, once you start the game, I can't help but notice the music. Now, I give Nintendo a lot of slack for not having voice acting within their games, but when it comes to Animal Crossing, I'm okay if they don't have voice acting here. Like the whole squeaking stuff, it's kind of part of the charm. So this is the only Nintendo game I'm okay with not having voice acting. It's fine, I'm for it here. Now, I didn't play Animal Crossing 1 for very long, and that's mostly because I didn't save the game. I forgot you have to save games manually in this day and age. I completely forgot that we went back in time, so there is no auto saves because I'm stupid. But it was interesting seeing the original DNA for the Animal Crossing series because instantly I thought that this game would feel completely different from the ones that I have played or I am used to. But ladies and gentlemen, no, there is a lot of familiarities here. There isn't a whole lot things that don't feel familiar to me, which is quite surprising. But at the same time, slightly disappointing because I thought this game would feel like a complete different game. I thought the other Animal Crossing that I have played would have advanced upon this one so much that this one would have felt just leagues behind. And I'm kind of hoping I don't have to chastise Nintendo for not putting much effort into their sequels, but we shall see because as a Pokemon fan, we're tired of them. Because already as soon as the game starts, oh boy with a guitar, I know I'm gonna upset someone by calling them that. KK Slider, he says, hey, you know you can bring all your friends on this island too, right? Like already it's pushing to do that co-op. And even when you look on the map, you can see 4 houses here, just 4 houses just ready to be taken. It seems I can have the same island on the same console with a bunch of my friends, something that a modding game I know does not do. I can attest this, but I did do some research, and yes, there is no split screen, but you can have up to 4 characters on one island in Animal Crossing 1 from 2001, so why that one game from 2020 can't do that? I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what this game had that the new ones didn't really have, and it kind of pretty much had everything that I wanted to do in the game. I spent a lot of time pissing off my islanders, sleeping in people's beds, running through the flowers, but the thing is, you can't design your character though. You can only pick a pronoun. Fucking pronoun! Something I didn't know that Animal Crossing has was police. What? When was this a thing? Like, I had no idea that Animal Crossing 1 had police. Like, why did they get rid of this? And you could just like go right in, get free stuff, tell the police, yeah, this is mine. And he'd be like, believe you. And then you could just take it and leave. And yeah, that might not be the best idea for kids playing the game. Don't lie to police, kids. Don't. That might get you in a heap of trouble. I also said before that you can't design your character. So I couldn't make someone who was black. But from what I know, if you leave him out in the sun and he tans and he does slightly turn. This is a weird game. The villagers genuinely had a lot of nice dialogue, and I've been told that Animal Crossing 1 is one of the games that has probably the most charming of dialogues here. And I can neither confirm or deny that because I didn't really give it enough time, but it is really nice. Events too are really nice in this game, and that was even before the internet was even a thing. I guess Nintendo really had to sit back and make sure there was enough events and make sure the game had a lot more longevity for it, instead of just relying on the internet and just posting updates later. That kind of seemed half-assed. Now, one thing I wanted to see was the music change every hour, so I kind of was just sitting there just waiting around, waiting for the clock to hit that 1 hour, and it did, but then the music hadn't changed, so I thought maybe the hourly change of music wasn't a thing in Animal Crossing 1, and then I went inside somewhere, and then I left, and voila, the music had changed. This is the most unique things I love about these series of games. I absolutely love it, and the mastermind behind the music of the Animal Crossing series is this guy. I'm not gonna say his name because I'm not trying to embarrass myself. Like the new Animal Crossings, seasons do have their own type of music where it adds some variation to it. A lot of time it seems to be just the same song just slowed down, but it isn't exactly the case. It does sound like it's being recreated and added its own additional sounds to add variation for the winter seasonal tracks. It's quite nice. I even went into someone's house and heard this little tone, and I just was boogieing to it. I actually quite like the sound. I was like, I wonder if I can make a beat out of this. So I did try, and this is what I got. But that was pretty much the extent of my playthrough, as I didn't exactly save the game. The game is a real fun time. The low poly graphics, the old lighting, the older art style, it gives that game of like the charm, a nostalgic charm. Even when you boot up the game and you start with the little Nintendo. But that was pretty much the extent of my playthrough, as I didn't play for long because I didn't save the game. I don't know why I didn't save the game. There are two major downsides for this game as to why I'll probably never come back and play this, and that is that trash ass camera that this game's got. It was making me feel sick. I'm gonna guess it's the technology of the game, but the game seems to do this thing where it just, you go into the side and it'll slide across to look more of the map. It was making me feel sick. I absolutely hated it. And of course, this is the game that has Tom Nook in it, as he is in every single Animal Crossing, but I just think he's just such a miserable character. He's a character telling every child about capitalism and forcing them into it because you need somewhere to live. He definitely seems like a more of a grumpy arsehole in this one. Maybe that's just me. It's just like, here's your house, can't afford it, pay up. Can't pay up, get a job. I don't care if you're jet lagged, you work for me now. It just feels depressing. I just feel like Animal Crossing should feel a lot more cheerier. It just feels so depressing. It definitely feels a lot more friendly in the newer games, I think. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is Animal Crossing 1, the very beginning of Animal Crossing. Which I've seen some discourse online of people saying it is one of their favorites. And to be honest, I can see that every single Animal Crossing in this video will be someone's favorite. I'm just trying to figure out which one is my favorite and which one I probably end up liking the most. Because at the moment, I guess it would be Wild Worlds, I think, from nostalgia. As I was Googling, though, a lot of people saying that the villagers in this one are very strong. They have a lot of charm and personality to them. You may not like them today, but maybe in a few weeks' time, they might actually grow on you. It kind of gives a lot more of that life sim kind of feel for this game, which I think a lot of the other ones do kind of lack. So I do think that was very interesting. But this game definitely has a lot of charm to it, and I do like its charm. So if that camera doesn't bother you and you don't mind playing old games like this, then I 100% think you should try it. 100% try Animal Crossing 1. All right, what's next? Ooh, I'm gonna need my DS for this one. Animal Crossing Wild World. Now this one I'm very familiar with. This was my first Animal Crossing. I played this every single day as a child, and at first I didn't really understand how to play it, but after constantly playing and restarting my island and creating new characters every single time, I believe I became a pro at this game. I don't think I ever realized what turnips were though. I never actually think I understood that concept of turnips, probably because I wasn't really reading in the game. As a kid, I never really wanted to read in my video games. Not like it would matter anyway, because I was always changing that built-in clock to do on a DS, which was like so easy. Every time I needed some money, I was just shaking trees, selling pears, giving it to Tom Nook and just tell him to pay up, like, give me my bells, bitch. But going back to this Animal Crossing, I completely have changed my opinion on this game. Now I went back to this thinking that this was going to be the best Animal Crossing game on this video. My brain was telling me that 10 years ago when I played this game, it was peak, it was amazing, it was fun, and I absolutely loved it. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to say it now. This game isn't that great to me. After playing Animal Crossing 1 and going to this one, I just don't feel like for the 4 years that you had to wait for an Animal Crossing, I just don't think that this one pushes as much as it could. And it kind of feels more to be desired. From memory, I thought this game was going to feel a lot more fun, but I guess when I was young, I was just on copium because when I was given a game, I just had to enjoy it because I know I wasn't going to get another game for a good couple months or so. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still a fine game, but you can absolutely tell that this game is definitely streamlined from what was there from Animal Crossing 1. Now I put more hours into this because I knew I had to save this time around. But this time around I was changing the clock, changing it to every hour to hear the music, changing it every weekday to see how the dialogue would refresh. It honestly seemed like Animal Crossing 1. I do believe it when people say that it kind of just has a little bit more charm. The dialogue in this Animal Crossing isn't as interesting to me. And the fact that I put so many hours into this as a kid and I can't remember any characters as a kid, that kind of does prove myself to what I'm saying. These villagers never really say a whole lot, to me anyway. I think what was nice is that they'd ask you to do a favor and you can turn them down. You can say yes or no. You can interact with them a little bit more. And if you said no, they'd be pretty bummed out, and that was always funny to see. Tom Nook's definitely a lot more friendlier in this game. Sometimes. But he may actually be my favorite part about the game because I feel like he's the one with the most character, or the one with the only character. This game kind of teaches you about scammers too. This guy just doesn't shut the hell up. I feel like I was pressing A like bajillion times. He doesn't shut the hell up. The villages themselves have some solid designs. The houses look pretty nice. Everything's kind of already set up for you once you get there, so you are pretty much just a person who's new to this already built up island, which is, you know, fine. The camera is a lot more better. I actually really like how they did it this time. It does feel like this spheric kind of effect as you're running. You can kind of just look behind you and things are slowly fading away. I do like that effect. It's really nice. But as I said, streamlined. Everything just feels a little bit better, a bit more improvements to quality of life. And this Animal Crossing pretty much sold like hotcakes because the DS sold amazingly and probably is one of the best handheld consoles we've ever received. But after a few hours of playing, I pretty much did everything. And obviously from memory, I played this a lot as a child. I knew that I'd pretty much seen everything the game had to offer. I went back in time to see the music. And again, I just think maybe the music in Animal Crossing 1 is a little bit better because the music here isn't that impressive, even as its standalone game. From memory, I can't really remember the songs too much. And I go back to a lot of DS game soundtracks quite a bit. So the fact that I never really went back to the Animal Crossing one goes to show that I think this music in this game is that impressive. But that 11 AM song is really good. It's really nice. But the biasness and my nostalgia really should have hit with me for this one. But this time it just didn't. I played this every day as a child, but now I just feel whatever about it. I don't love this game anymore. What happened? Was I missing something? Did I not give it enough time? I did everything, you know, I wanted to do. I bought some turnips, made a loss, sold some pears, spoke to people, spoke to new neighbors, went fishing, looked at some stars, and yeah, that was about it. I don't know why either. I thought that Isabella was in this game. I thought this was her first appearance, but no, she's not actually in the game. But anyway, what's next on the list? It is Animal Crossing City Folk. Nintendo, are y'all serious? When I first started the game, I was so excited to see how this game would have improved from the last one, and seeing how this game, the Animal Crossing series, would have taken advantage of the newer technology of the Nintendo Wii. And as soon as I started the game, I kind of noticed it. Everything looked cleaner, there was lesser rough edges, the art style looked nice, the lighting looked better, the graphics just looked really nice. So I was excited, but oh my to my not surprise, Nintendo repackaged an old game, their previous game, and just put it on a Nintendo Wii. How did I not know about this? This is pretty much just a simple remaster in this day and age, but usually you do those for, you know, older games that kind of deserve it. But this game is literally the predecessor to New Leaf, Wild World, I'm getting them mixed up, and this is what we got. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and assume, okay, maybe Nintendo kind of just sold this one at a cheaper price, you know, because it pretty much is a re-release of a game. And from what I can tell, no, they pretty much gave it the same price tag as every other Nintendo Wii game at the time. I should have known too, because as soon as I started the game, Rover was like, yo, do you want to, you know, bring out your old save and bring to this one? And I was like, why is it asking me to do that? I want a new experience. Why would I do that? Then I started and the music sounded the same. Tom Nook pretty much had the same exact lines, and I was like, huh? What is happening here? What is going on? Now I'm questioning, was there a mainline game taking advantage of the Nintendo Wii? No, there wasn't. Nintendo decided not to give you guys an Animal Crossing game for the Nintendo Wii. They just gave you a repackaged game from the DS. So I thought I was going crazy. I went online to go Google it, and yeah, pretty much the Animal Crossing fans all agree that this one is the worst Animal Crossing. Nintendo takes the piss. And this is why I'll never stand Nintendo, like I never will. I know this game is nearly 20 years old, so I won't rant about it now because it makes no difference. But again, welcome to my channel. Over here, we show Nintendo. So ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the one I think you guys have probably been waiting for. These last two And the crazy thing is, I was more excited about the Nintendo Wii Animal Crossing because, again, the technology on that was pretty impressive at the time. For Nintendo, anyway. Yes, it didn't compare to the 360 or the PS3, but for Nintendo, it was a big step up. So when it came to this one, yeah, I was looking forward to seeing what they had done new to it, but again, the 3DS isn't the most powerful of consoles, so I was expecting the same thing as the DS version. I was kind of ready to be disappointed again, and ladies and gentlemen, to my surprise, I was blown away by this Animal Crossing. Every game before this kind of just felt like slight upgrades from the game before, but it would just never blow me away with the amount of changes that they had made with the Animal Crossing games. Even when I'm skipping time to see if there was anything new as time went on, I just don't think the characters or villages just had that much charm, and I just never really wanted to play it for that long. The music hadn't blown me away not since the first game, so there just always just felt like there was just more to be desired when it came to the series. But New Leaf, wow, New Leaf. So I was trying to record footage for the intro, but I completely forgot to press record. But as soon as you start the game, the setup is completely different. You are the mayor. You are the mayor of this town, and I'm guessing the old turtle. I guess he died or something. We haven't seen him since those games, so I guess he died. Rest in peace. Now, making you the mayor doesn't exactly change the way the game is played, but it does provide this nice bit of context to what every Animal Crossing kind of misses, because you are the one who ends up making the most changes and does the most improvements for the island anyway. So this one making you the mayor is actually a good idea that kind of works with its context of the Animal Crossing world. Not that it needed context anyway, it's a simple game, but I do like it nonetheless. But that isn't what makes it special. Animal Crossing New Leaf, by far, to me, from what I played, is the most charming Animal Crossing out of the whole series. Because soon as you leave the station, they're all there to greet you. They're just so happy to see you. They're celebrating. And I'm just standing there confused like, this is different. I wasn't expecting this. Then you have to plant a tree and everyone kind of just watches you do it because it's meant to be this tree that represents the new town that you're in. And it's just so cute. I was kind of like, damn, this is really adorable. This to me is this feeling that I have. This is what Animal Crossing should make me feel like all the time. And the music, as soon as I started, the music already was just blowing me away way more than City Folk / Wild Worlds. The music was so good it got my girlfriend's attention and she wanted to play, and plus I wasn't trying to re-record everything, so I just made her play the game. We'll get into the music a little later, but this Animal Crossing feels like a complete new game. Like, this feels like a real sequel to the previous Animal Crossing game. If they actually put an effort for a Wii U version, that one could have been super impressive with the technology they had, but they just decided not to. I'm so mad about that. Like, I know I'm 20 years too late, but I am so mad about that. But this one almost felt like, hey, we're sorry. We'll make it up to you with this one. In the previous Animal Crossings, I feel like I couldn't really say too much about the villages in those games because I do think they just feel very scripted and just very NPC-like. They don't really feel that human, no pun intended. The first one kind of had like the most charm, but again, I know it's an unfair test because every village is different. Every people will get different type of villages with different personalities. So that is just me just going on first impressions, and I could be completely wrong when I say that, so please don't be too mad at me. But even when I started New Leaf, to me, I just wanted to talk to these villagers all the damn time. They're a lot more entertaining, they're a lot more charming, and they just feel a lot more human with their interactions. Like this old lion dude came up to me and was like, yo bro, how I look in this, bro? I look good, man. And I'm only recording the top screen, but on the bottom screen, I can choose a response. And it does seem like it affects their feelings. I'm not expecting an RPG where it'll change the story of the game type of choices, but it does seem like it affects their feelings going forward in their relationship towards you. And that right there is exactly what I'm looking for a simple life sim called Animal Crossing. You're also not forced to have a house in this one. Like, you do get a tent. The game doesn't really force you to have a house. You could just keep it your tent the whole time, really. And to get the house, you need to pay 10k bells, as how the game kind of tells you. But this is a good way of doing it because in the meantime, to get 10k bells, the game doesn't give it to you. Tom Nook doesn't give you a job. The game kind of just expects you to just figure it out for yourself. I understand that this is a kid's game, but I do like the sense of the game not really holding your hand and just telling you, hey, you can go ask Isabel if you need help, but you can just figure it out for yourself, because the way we see it, you're reading all of this, you're probably mature enough to know what to do next. Which again, you can stick to the 10, but you know, the game kind of tells you 10k, and then Tom Nook's like, hey, I know you paid 10k for the house, but you still owe me 40k bells. So he's still on his dickhead shit. But playing New Leaf has kind of made me realize that every other Animal Crossing kind of has this bit of a not depressing tone, but this tone of feeling like it's work, like it's a job. This time round, even though Tom Nook was like, hey, I want that 40K, part of me was kind of like, you know what, Tom, I kind of want to give you that 40K because I kind of just enjoy living here, bro. Like, people love me here. I kind of want to stay and pay that shit off. This one feels at least like a task. I'll break it down. In other Animal Crossings, you get out the car or the cab or the train. No one's there to celebrate you. You have to find everyone yourself to go speak to them. And a lot of the time, it doesn't seem like they even care that much. They don't think much of you to begin with. You need a house, so you go to Tom Nook and he's like, huh? I can give you one for 20K or a little something. It's like, go do this, go do that, go speak to people, go deliver this, blah, blah, blah. For some reason, it still feels kind of lonely still. It doesn't really feel like the most happiest experience compared to New Leaf's introduction. But this one, I just have a complete different vibe, a happier vibe, bro. I can't explain it, man. Everyone cares. Everyone's happy to see you. You feel like the top don. You feel like you're the mayor. You're paying for a house because you wanted to pay for one. You wasn't forced into one. This is how Animal Crossing should feel to me. Not its capitalism and its mythologizing cognitive dissonance of a metaphor that is Tom Nook. We did everything that we could in the game and more villagers started moving in. This one was the one that we spent like the longest amount of time on. I was in love with this one. I was really enjoying playing this one. And out of all of these, this is the one I'd probably go back to because I genuinely enjoyed it. This one might be my favorite one. Spoiler, we haven't gone back to New Horizons just yet, but this one might be my favorite one so far. But what really makes this Animal Crossing so special would have to be the music. Now, I can't quite remember New Horizons music that well, so I ain't gonna compare the two musics just yet. But this one is sounded like it's taking the crown for it. This one is very goofy and charming in the nicest way possible. I mean that. It definitely has a lot more character in its sounds and its notes, variations. I don't really know if I can speak on music in that much of a detail to really explain the feeling that it gives me, but it does have this really charmy, clumsy, goofy, Animal Crossing cute feel. Every shop has its own music, and I know that's not new to the Animal Crossing series, but I never really mentioned it before because I don't think the music in the shops really stuck out to me. Here it does. The animations for the characters are really nice. They definitely put a lot more effort into it this time around when they are communicating with you. Your character will do this cute little blinking thing when you're responding with dialogue and whatnot, and it's quite nice. And I mentioned it before, but Isabelle is here. Isabelle is in this one. Look at her. She's so cute. She's so adorable. She is here. I don't know why I thought she appeared in earlier games, but she appears in this one. And to speak on more on the music, like, man, that 2 a.m. one, I could just sit on the beach and just look at the cliff and just chill here. Like, this is beautiful. I love it. But I spent a good amount of time on this Animal Crossing. I got so much footage for it, but this video is getting on, so I'm gonna keep it pushing. This one, I think I'd love to go in depth more and speak about more in another video. But I imagine the Animal Crossing fanbase has their own YouTubers that talk about these games all the time, so I don't know if there's anything that I could add in this moment in time. But this game really is really good. I gave it quite a few hours. I was addicted to it. This one might be my favorite one so far. Now we can go to the one that means a lot to a lot of people, including me. A game that I think we should all be thankful for, really. It's Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm gonna get my chair for this one. Hold on. Go a chair. I don't really like using the chair in the videos, but I feel like I have to this time. Animal Crossing's New Horizon is very much an important Animal Crossing, and just in the gamer space, for me anyway. I mentioned earlier on in the video that I had nothing but time to play this game. And that's mainly because during when this game came out, the world was kind of in its own little zombie apocalypse known as COVID-19. Which means we were all forced to stay home and stay indoors and just be chilling. Around the same time, I believe the month was April, Animal Crossing New Horizons had come out. And this kind of just set the gaming world ablaze. I'm not sure if this game would have been as successful if it weren't for the pandemic. Maybe it would have, I don't really know. All I know is that the timing of the game could not have been better. So this game really does mean a lot to me, and I think I have 200 hours at the time of this recording because I haven't played it in a little while. New Horizons definitely had a different direction in terms of the Animal Crossing series, definitely pushing more of the creative side of things, going in a creative direction. Meanwhile, New Leaf kind of had more of a immersive direction. It definitely made sure that you felt involved, you felt special, and making the player feel like this was going to be the best time of their life. And making the player feel like their choices and what they did in the town really mattered. This one to me definitely pushed more of the come make friends, come spend time here over New Horizons. Because now that I've played New Leaf, There are so many cool, charming things about the villages and the stuff that you can do in the immersive world that New Horizons is absolutely missing. And I do wish that some of those things had come across, but they kind of just didn't. They definitely solely focused on the player, allowing the player to be creative in New Horizons. I had issues with New Horizons even before I'd even played the previous Animal Crossings. And the biggest issue I had with the game was, well, longevity. I do think New Horizons in the beginning did lack a bit of longevity because I have 200 hours, which was pretty much within the first few months or first few weeks of the game coming out. At certain points, I felt like my vegetables became very stale. But from what I've been told, the events did start coming, the updates did start coming, but I had already just stopped playing, unfortunately. And I don't know what the events update cycle is for the previous ones, but this one here, I feel like they kind of just took a little bit too long. My biggest issue, especially in the 2020 pandemic, even though the online was a big factor in Animal Crossing New Horizons, it was terrible. I remember going into Discords and trying to find people who had nice turnip prices and just being excited to connect with people, seeing people's worlds, and it was great, it was cool. But then when you go into someone's world, you'd end up being treated with this loading screen, which took a little bit. You landed, that was fine. Things load, I'm not mad at things loading, but then every time a person decided to visit the island that you're on, you'd all just stop and freeze. Now Nintendo, who thought this was a good idea? If the console or game can't manage that many players at a time on the island, I just feel like just don't allow it to begin with anyway. But even when there is just one or two people, you still get the same freezing loading screen where everything just stops and it completely just breaks the immersion. It is so bad. Because when you're doing it over and over, visiting all these islands for turnip prices, you get to a point where you can't even want to do it anymore. Nintendo's never been known for having good online anyway, so I don't know why I was surprised here. But with a game just based around creativity and connectivity, you think they would have had those things down, because connectivity in the pandemic was a big thing for me. I really wanted me and my girl to have the same island where we could do things together, and that just wasn't a thing. When she's on my island, all you can really do is just view it. You can't really do anything. You can't allow them to make changes on your island and build it together and just, have the same island. It's missed potential for me. So New Horizons, while I think it is such a fun game, a beautiful game, a charming game, and just something that I'm just so thankful for that it came out at the time and that it did, I do feel like it has more to be desired. But I think the game is so great that it still makes me super excited for what Animal Crossing as a series has to offer in their next game. The Switch Pro or whatever should be coming out next year, or should be announced next year anyway. And I'm really hoping that we get a new Animal Crossing for that game. I hope they don't do a City Folk and just remaster New Horizons. Nobody wants that. Don't do that. Don't do that, Nintendo. But in short, New Horizons, it's a cool Animal Crossing.